measurement of a really good beer, in my opinion, regardless of the beer, is if you want to go back to it and try it again to explore more in that beer. And that's certainly the case, I think, with this blend of 2020 Life in Flux. I love where we went with this beer. It has a nice general sweetness, but it is not too much, in my opinion. It's just enough to make the booze and the sugar match up evenly, kind of like in a good cocktail, where it's just not too much, but it's just there. We have good brown sugar notes, good toffee, definitely some good chocolate, and then the oak and the whiskey really have a nice kind of residual finish that is really interesting. The nose is just compelling. It's complex. It kind of smells everything from like a charred marshmallow when you're making s'mores, all the way to the note on like a hot cocoa, to the smell of baking something in the oven. It's just a lot of interesting sugar flavors, and the time that we spend in the barrel, those 17 and a half months on average for this blend, takes some of those brighter sugar notes and then adds a delightful oxidation to them that brings out the more caramel notes and some of those flavors that you might recognize from other drinks like port or Madeira. Those oxidative reactions, although maybe not favorable in your Pilsner or your IPA, are a beautiful piece of barrel aging that we really embrace. Just love it. Got a little bit of everything from like a cookie wafer to cola to brown sugar, just those rich, brown, delightful notes. Absolutely love it. Love this blend. Very happy with how it turned out. Now, let us talk about the variants of Life in Flux. So to make Life in Flux a little bit kind of an interesting journey for you to come along with us, we feel like we can help you understand the depth and different pieces of the Life in Flux by adding the variant packages with it. So we'll be selling 3 beers together: Life in Flux itself, and then we have Life in Flux with coconut and cocoa nibs, and Life in Flux with vanilla and coffee. So if you've been listening to me talk this long, you've realized that these ingredients we're adding are already notes that are already in the beer, and they're not in the beer because of these ingredients beforehand, but they're in the note, or they're in the beer because of the sources I mentioned before, either the grain or the barrel, things like that. But what we want to do is add those actual ingredients to kind of emphasize them and bring them out a little bit and show you how these different flavors can pop and bring and change the balance of the beer as we have it. So the first one I want to talk about is Life in Flux with coconut and cocoa nibs. We sourced the cocoa nibs from Condor Chocolates here in Athens, Georgia. We worked with them to find the Esmeralda cocoa nib, and the Esmeralda has a rich, nutty flavor with a slight fruity note to it. And then we pair that with the coconut as well. So coconut and cocoa are flavors that are already in here, but when we add these extra layers on top of it with that toasted coconut, raw coconut, as well as cocoa nibs, it really emphasizes the chocolate part of this. For whatever reason, I feel like when we add coconut to a beer, more often than not, to me it tastes much more like chocolate or a representation of a chocolate kind of flavor than pure coconut, if you think maybe like a pina colada. But when you put them together here and you actually pair it with cocoa nibs as well, it's just a rich, rich chocolate experience. It's a little bit slightly more viscous, and the nose is captivating. It really smells like the corner of a brownie in a baking dish, or fudge, or things like that, where it's just rich, intense notes. And I think after you drink a little bit and come back to the flavor, you start picking up like, oh yeah, that's coconut. And there's a little bit of just pure chocolate on top of the other flavors that I saw in the base blend. And I encourage you to open all these together with some friends if you can, and try these side by side so you'll be able to understand how these all come together. So let's talk about the last variant. Vanilla and coffee are beautiful ingredients when you put them together. Across the world, that note of sweet confectionery sugar with coffee is seen everywhere from sweet cappuccinos we may have in America, to your Vietnamese coffee, to all those different versions of coffee that are intense with sugar and the actual coffee bean. So we got coffee from Thousand Faces Coffee. We actually worked in our Cocoa Bunny blend into this, which is a blend of Ethiopian coffees. We do a custom roast on that to make it just perfect for beer. And then we also pair that with 2 types of vanilla in this case. We use Mexican vanilla beans and Ugandan vanilla beans. So we use whole vanilla beans and we process those because the full vanilla bean just has so much more character and interest than I think your vanilla extract will. And it allows us to source the vanilla from where we want it to come from. Mexican vanilla has some of your more classic vanilla qualities that you may associate with like an extract, in the fact that it has those kind of sweet confectionery notes. There are a little bit of a kind of a sweet fruit note, some floral qualities, and then that classic vanilla flavor. We paired it with one of my favorite vanillas, which is Ugandan vanilla, because Ugandan vanilla has a deep, rich brownie kind of quality to it. And when you mix that brownie batter with that classic vanilla, it really makes it pop, and it kind of encompasses and connects the dots between the coffee flavor and the vanilla flavor. It really makes overall for a package that really melts together well. Oh, and this is the one that you can just go back and smell all day long. I love the aroma on this beer. The 2 vanillas kind of just meld perfectly together with the coffee. I don't think any one of them are overpowering each other. And it just takes that little burnt marshmallow piece that I was talking about before when we were making s'mores in the first blend to the next level and makes that part of the beer really stand out. It's fudgy, it's delightful, it's so good. I'm a big fan of all 3 of these. I certainly cannot pick a favorite. I think it's an amazing way to go through and see how the same blend, which all of these are, that we did not make different beers for this. We took the same blend and split it up into 3 tanks so we could have them be related together in that way. And then now you can see how the exact same beer with these ingredients added in different ways can emphasize different qualities of the beer and really go on this journey with us. Life in Flux is different every time we make it. It's always a blend that's coming from our cellar. It will be the 2020 blend like this, and this is the way it's going to taste. And the 2021 blend is going to be totally different. And we are really excited to bring you on this journey with us as we continue to make Life in Flux over the years. And we'll just see where the future holds. Thanks for listening to me talk about one of my favorite beers we make. And I hope you will enjoy your Life in Flux and come out to the brewery and get it. Cheers.